PrimeXPT is the most powerful trading platform offering immediate access to over 30 assets. Trade cryptocurrencies, forex, commodities, stock indices, and much more, all from a single Bitcoin settled account. Visit the link below and start trading on PrimeXPT in minutes.
Birb Network is an interoperable DeFi ecosystem offering token pre-sales, staking as a service, project incubation, and much more. Visit thebirbnest.com/Ferrum. Globe is an upcoming crypto derivatives exchange offering up to 100 times leverage on crypto and DeFi perpetual contracts. Sign up for early rewards at thebirbnest.com/Globe. Radix is the first Layer 1 protocol built specifically to serve DeFi. More information at thebirbnest.com/Radix. YFDAI is democratizing finance by creating the most secure, transparent, and user-friendly ecosystem of DeFi products. To learn more, visit thebirbnest.com/YFDAI.
Can you guys hear
Hello,
me?
everyone. Yep, we can.
Hi.
Hey, guys, long time no see.
Yeah, indeed. It's been a long time.
Waiting a second for the burp. So, how you all doing today?
Well, pretty fine, and you, aside from the extremely high gas fees. What about
pretty
you?
Good. Pretty good day on the market. Pretty good few weeks and months, I guess. Can't complain. I think we might be starting with our burp now.
Yeah.
Teddy, are you with us? Okay, Teddy's also. Right, so this is gonna be like a loose chat around the markets in general. What are our current thoughts on how the market is looking? What are the perspectives on the next couple of weeks and months? Where are we right now, and what do we expect? Monk, could you give like a quick recap of what do you think is happening right now on the market with all the dog coins pumping, and what can we expect from the spend going forward, for example?
Well, I mean, current market conditions are a bit special, as everyone knows. We have a lot of meme coins that are being extremely hyped to levels never seen before. Initially triggered by Dogecoin. So yeah, it's definitely a DeFi season, because right now it's way easier to just launch a meme project and release it that doesn't consume too much gas fees, unlike Ethereum. So yeah, it's we're in the middle of a BSC hard season. I think it's if we look back to where we were a few months ago, DEXs have become more mainstream in the sense that even normies can use them, and ironically, immensely due to Binance Smart Chain being way more accessible to Ethereum network. So, well, yeah, it's an interesting market. It's extremely overextended. I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to secure some profits. Of altcoin pumps are going to last forever, but well, yeah. I mean, what about you? What's your opinion about it?
First of all, can you guys hear me clearly?
Yep, loud and clear. All good.
Fantastic. I mean, I don't really know what the question is, but I I know that I blindly agree with Monk when it comes to the fact that this trend is definitely pretty much overextended, a little bit over exaggerated. I mean, we do have a lot of coins that are delivered close to zero that are valued well above $1 billion. I mean, if I've looked yesterday, and the top 103 coins on CoinMarketCap have a market cap above 1 billion, which is it's prosperous. I mean, if you're an investor and speculator, this is great. It's a golden opportunity to make as much money as you possibly can. But I think that the macro space is due a correction at some point. I mean, you have projects like Cardano that yes, they're big. Yes, they're legitimate. Yes, they have an awesome A-star team, but they have a a valuation of around $55 billion, and they've delivered pretty much close to nothing. So we are.
You really don't like Cardano, no?
Well, it's not that I don't like Cardano. I mean, I think that Cardano is an awesome project. I mean, if Cardano were to, if they were to deliver what they promised, I think that they have huge potential to take over. But as we speak, it's all promises and nothing concrete, and they're valued at $55 billion. This industry, as we
They
speak,
haven't really been gathering anything so far. So
yeah, I mean, the industry is completely retarded. It can easily reach a $100 billion valuation, but at some point it has to correct because it's not a proper valuation to be worth that much. I mean, they're worth as much as companies that are regularly sort of providing value to millions of users, which is something that Cardano isn't right now. But Cardano is just one example of hundreds of coins that are overly valued.
Would you guys say we all have been here for a couple of years already? Is this like the most insane market conditions that you've ever seen, considering the current pumps on the dog coins and stuff? Like, have ever been? Were there even more crazy times than today right now? Because in my opinion, this is the most ridiculous market conditions I've ever seen, and we've seen a lot of weird pumps back in the days as well.
Well, what I think is the main difference between between the bull market that we have today and the bull market that we had in 2017 is the fact that 2017 was a fraction of the length, but it was as aggressive. In the meaning that you had every single altcoin on CoinMarketCap, on Binance or Bittrex going up 2, 3, 4, 5x on a daily basis. What we're having now is basically the same pumps, but the spread over multiple months. So it is still brutal, meaning that everything just continues to go up, 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 up. But it's happening over a much wider time frame. 2017 was wild because every single day your portfolio was doubling and tripling in value, which is not something that is happening today overnight. But yes, the market is nonetheless completely wild as we speak.
There was a poll yesterday.
well,
Somebody posted it.
in my
Whether
opinion,
what? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, I want to add a bit to what they said. I think that we've seen a lot of people during the market trying to get some tweets by saying that 2017 was a test pump. Well, at the time that it was a bit cringe, but to be honest, when you look at the market right now and the numbers some meme coins can pull, it just looks like it. It just looks like actually 2017 was just the test pump. Even it's literally 2017 on steroids right now. Maybe not for people who are just up to 27 altcoins. Even for some are making insane recoveries. Like for example, Telcoin, that's something I'd completely forgotten on the KuCoin account, and I just discovered that an initial investments of like maybe 3-4K was worth like 80K right now, which is insane. But aside from a few of those examples, the real gains are definitely into DeFi coins right now, and especially on BSC. That's quite obvious to anyone who's been analyzing this market for the past weeks, months. So yeah, initially last summer it was mainly on Uniswap. but then the market definitely rotated into something cheaper and more accessible to most people. So, well, I really think that it's hard to compare 2017 to what's happening right now, because I think that this alt season is quietly more insane. We see some literal. Well, we used to see some garbage projects being pumped to crazy highs. Back then, I think this cycle, it's literally filled with Zoomers, TikTok influencers. We have another influx of the money flooding this market, and yeah, I mean it's insanely addictive, but crazy stupid at the same time. Like I really expected the market to mature a bit, but with DeFi, I mean we got brought to some sort of new paradigm. It's just pure craziness.
Yeah,
We got a question.
Yeah.
How do we envision the bear market? Where do you guys think we are in the current market cycle? Like, is this right before the blow off top? Is it like the full year long bull market going on? Are we going to get the regular bear market afterward where all the odds go minus 90 in a matter of a year? Like, how do you compare it compared to 2017? Like, is it going to be a clear repetition, or maybe this time it's actually different?
I think that we are going to have a clear repetition. I think that whenever you're in a bull market, you think that things can never go down. And whenever you're in a bear market, you assume that nothing will go back up again. I think that we are in a period where everything is just so bullish. We have so many investment funds, so many companies getting cryptocurrency or specifically Bitcoin exposure where we think nothing can go wrong this time. I think that at some point, this market will correct and very heavily as well. So, to answer your question, yes, we are going to see a heavy correction eventually. It can happen in next week. It can happen in 5 years. God knows when that's going to happen. But at some point, we are going to get a slap in the face where the market will get a somewhat of a healthier valuation because some of these coins are absurd. I mean, the Shiba coin, I think it's valued at God knows how many $1 billion. It's 18 on coin market cap. I mean, that's a meme that literally went out of complete control. In terms of signals, I don't really know. But I don't think that we are that close to a top. I do still think that we have a lot to go. Everything is just taking a lot longer. But I wouldn't be able to give at least of a time estimate when we may see a correction.
I think we are in a moment right now where while Bitcoin is consolidating and odds are pumping, I think we are into a moment where Bitcoin is going to take over the scene for a moment with getting the liquidity from the alts a bit. But overall, like the stuff that we're seeing right now with the amount of people still wanting to get in, and the 2017 and 18 space was really filled with ICOs, but they were raising like 50, 60 million. The market got saturated really quickly. As of right now, all the pre-sales, while they're getting really small amounts raised, there is a lot more opportunities of people to get into with the DeFi, with the decentralized exchanges. I think this can be actually like a full year-long run with a lot of choppiness in between. I've seen a poll yesterday where there was a question whether you were profitable in the last few months, and it was 50-50. In a market where literally the only thing you needed to do for the past 3 months is buy and hold, because literally every single coin went parabolic, people are still not that profitable. I mean, I think this is not peak euphoria, and there is still some time for us to reach that level where literally everyone can make money. But with the current volatility, with all the scams going on, there is just a lot more people getting cracked along the way as well compared to 2017.
Yeah. I mean, something that I've noticed, which is something that I appreciate a lot, is the fact that, yes, this time there is still a lot of dumb money, and I think that dumb money will be in any market. It doesn't have to be necessarily cryptocurrencies, but you still have quite a lot of people that are joining and partaking in DeFi without even knowing what DeFi is. I mean, I've got a few friends that know nothing about cryptocurrency, that know nothing about trading or specific coins for the matter, but they are, for example, buying stable coins and staking them for passive income. So even though they don't know that what they're doing is partaking within the DeFi ecosystem, they're still taking advantage of this technology to earn some passive income. I mean, there are some services that you can put in 100 grand and they give you 10% on an annual basis. I mean, that's can be you can live off that. So it's nice that yes, we do have the memes. Yes, we do have complete ignorant pumps, but we will always have those. But we are starting to see some sort of passive adoption, which is something that it's very, very, very wealthy, healthy for the environment. I mean, I do still struggle to see anybody using Bitcoin to transact, aside from speculative purposes, but we will get there as well, hopefully quite soon.
I think this is one of the biggest narratives that I see from the people around me that I completely agree with. That at this point it is kind of stupid not to have at least some exposure to crypto, whether it is, as you said, staking stable coins or buying some digital currencies. This is not an experiment anymore. People want to get exposure, even if it's close to the top. They know that in a couple of years this is still going to be worth something, and this is the way that technology is probably going to go, and people are going to switch and try to take care of their own finances. The UI and the experience in general right now is terrible. You need to be kind of PC fluent and know how to handle around the stuff, not to get wrecked, not to send transactions the wrong way. But with time, it's going to get better, and yeah, I think it's just a regular new financial system being built right now, and it's just the start of it. Whether it's at top of the current cycle, which is kind of ridiculous, maybe, but in general, yeah, this is a in general switch in mindset of the people that crypto is not a scam anymore, but something that actually can help you make some more money, or at least manage it by yourself
Yeah.
without any risk from the banks.
I mean, in 2016, 2017, I think that the general sort of sentiment was that cryptocurrency or blockchain for the matter was just a fun experiment. I mean, regardless of how much we believed in it, it was still, what is this? I think that now there is a general conception that cryptocurrencies are here to stay. It's not a scam anymore. It's not a Ponzi anymore. It's just an alternative that is here to stay. I think that the only thing that's going to change is that the fact that progressively over time we are going to have more and more people that are going to adopt it. I struggle to see a scenario where cryptocurrencies were to disappear. I mean, you need a quantum computer to hack Bitcoin to completely delete it from the face of the planet. I mean, the detectors there, and I think that we are just going to see adoption to come over time. Valuation sides, that's a completely different topic, but in terms of adoption, I think that we are slowly getting there.
Yeah,
I chime in very quick.
kind of agree. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfectly.
we can.
Yes. Yeah, perfect. First of all, sorry for all the technical issues. I'm actually in the car. My phone is getting crazy. Unimaginable things are happening. So I'm still very happy and pretty much excited to be having this show with you guys. And I'm very happy that we keep discussing, the DeFi for its past, for its present, and for its future. And if I may, I very quickly wanted to comment on the bear market part still. What I just want everybody to know and take away out of this stream is so that we are late in the market. We are late in the stage. Okay, and everybody should be slowly thinking of how to realize the profits or where your money goes. Because otherwise, you're by joining the party late, you may easily get destroyed by the bear market. Okay, 90% of all your money that you're having right now is going to be gone, and that is not a single question about that. Bear markets, on the bubble markets, they are very, very, very severe and very dangerous. Okay, so what I just want everybody to know. What is that?
What do you think about the super cycle?
Yeah, so, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm having a good understanding of the super cycle as it is. I mean, is it super? By the super cycle, I know many people actually mean many different things. So my question is the super cycle in your kind of feeling, like a superposition of two bull markets, to like a secular bull market? Is that what you mean?
More or less, yeah.
It's kind of like that
the
palmy
one
market,
cycle
you know? I mean,
to move them all.
Yes. So what I know, once in a while, you see stronger bull markets, definitely. What I also know is that we are in the process of the fourth bull market ever since the Bitcoin's conception in 2008. So this definitely goes out of question that well, this is a bull market after a bear market, and after this bull market there is going to be another bear market and another bull market, and approximately we are talking about the cycles that last between 3 and 4 years. And the bull market reversal, it all started in December 2018. So we are actually, just kind of like almost 4 years later anytime soon. Okay, so this just all aligns. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a super cycle, if it's not a super cycle. What matters is the overall cyclicality and the fact that we are late, right? And it doesn't matter for whether or not this is super cycle, because I do believe that on average, we see 3 to 4 year cycles for Bitcoin. And that is my guess. And I don't care if it's a super cycle, if it's a micro cycle, if it's a whatever cycle. What I know is that it usually lasts 3 to 4 years, and we are close to an end, in my opinion. What do you think about that?
Don't you think that the amount of catalyst and bullish news that have occurred in the last year were probably drastically higher than the ones that happened in the previous cycle? Meaning that in the last bull run, also in the last few months, we've had more institutions and more investment funds and more just capital flowing within this chart, let's say, than we ever had before. So I think that back then you needed a fraction of the amount of money necessary to move the market than you do today. I mean, today you can probably market sell a few $100 billion, and you just have a probably a multi-day correction, and if anything. So you do need something really, really, really strong and negative to happen within the market to really affect it, because there is so much more capital within the space, and you need so much more capital to have any impact within it. So even if a portion of investment funds decide that it's time to take some profits out, they really need to. It's very hard for them to have an impact. Something that was not as difficult just a few years ago. I mean, there are.
That is right, but just have a
funds.
look on what's happening right now in it.
oh,
I think you blocked.
well, you're losing Birb.
I think I think that the amount of money that got in caused what we have right now, which is just this another full-blown bull market. The bigger the market is, the more capital it needs to get everything going. And compared to 2017, when the market was pretty small and the investors were much smaller as well, this is just the same scale, but with a bigger people around right now. But there's also much more currencies around going on. A lot more stuff is being released daily. So, like the amount of ridiculousness that we have in this market right now, I would say it's comparable just because the market is bigger, so the money that got in is bigger as well. It all kind of fits in together. I think it's going to end pretty similar to what happened in 2017 as well, with the only difference that I think that Bitcoin might not go through another such big decline as it did previously, while all other alts certainly are going to crash the way it did before, because as of right now, there is almost no token utilities whatsoever on any projects. It's still all speculation, and that's how this market has been working for the past, since inception, basically. And I don't see that happening and changing anytime soon, at least not this next year for sure.
I agree. I agree with you. I mean, it's. Yeah, go ahead, Teddy.
We are at a point where you need essentially 3 factors for you to like and support a coin. Does it have a nice logo and website? Does the chart look decent? And does your favorite influencer support it? I mean, we got to a point where the market is so retarded, and as long as you have nice branding, a nice website, and a few guys talking about it, that project is bound to go up a few X. So, I mean, as crypto around the time you just said now, I do think with certainty that we are going to have a correction. I just don't know when or how brutal it will be. But I mean, we definitely do need to have a scheme of the valuations of the projects today, because they are absolutely absurd.
I think it's we're going to have some kind of. I'm not entirely sold to the idea of having another full bear market for Bitcoin or maybe major projects like Ethereum. I definitely think that we're going to have a massive bear market for altcoins right now. Well, I mean, not right now, but it's going to happen for sure. But I think that we're going to see a rotation towards Bitcoin at some point. And with the kind of money involved into the market right now, I'm not really sure we're going to see some 80% correction on it that is going to last for years. I think we might actually see what's been happening on the legacy market with indexes for a decade now, meaning that along the way there will be 40%, 30% corrections, but overall it might just be an up only market, and it's gonna decouple from altcoin markets at some point, meaning that we could see Bitcoin behaving a bit like an index and basically an inflow and outflow of money on temporary basis towards altcoins or major coins like, let's say, Litecoin, Ethereum, and projects like that. And then we will repeat the cycle again for altcoins. When I'm talking about altcoins, I'm talking about shitcoins, obviously. So yeah, I think the craze is just gonna enter another type of cycle we saw 3 years ago. But for Bitcoin, I think this is the moment where we might see a change and an actual different kind of cycle for it, where it's basically gonna keep trending up, but with less deeper corrections.
At some point we are going to have to reach a point of plateau. There's going to be a point where whoever wanted to buy bought, whoever wanted to sell sold, and as opposed to going in these huge bull and bear market cycles, we're probably going to range for years. We're probably going to range in God knows how big this range will be, but there's at some point, until we do have a much greater catalyst that promotes the use or this massive fund, I think that we are going to continuously range for a long time. I mean, we're probably going to have one cycle in between, but I think that at some point we're going to reach a level where Bitcoin will be far too expensive for the average person in the world to own. So the idea of owning one is close to impossible. A full token, it will be the go-to currency of the internet, and we are just going to hover in a somewhat of a price range. 702, you could argue to what happened with gold. I mean, you get to a point that who wants to use it and buy will buy it, who doesn't want to use it and buy will not buy it, and it's just going to consolidate there until there is going to be a catalyst, whether it's bullish or bearish, that is going to drive the price higher or lower. But I do agree with what you guys said, that there is going to be some cycle in between before this happens.
I got a question, because it's no secret that during this cycle there is much larger media attention, and you got all the TikTokers going on and investing and stuff. And I think one of the most crucial questions that we usually get is, how do we actually plan an exit from this cycle? Like, how do you take profits? Like, what's your strategy? Do you go in all out? Do you take profits regularly each week? Like, what's your strategy for this cycle, considering where are we right now?
For me personally, I am a degenerate / conservative investor and trader. I think that it is close to impossible to be able to predict when exactly we are going to reach the top. So the most conservative approach that you can take is to scale out. I mean, when you're making a ton of money, just take some out. Continuously pay yourself. At some point, you're going to pay yourself enough that whenever there's going to be a dip, you're not concerned at all that you've lost your life savings. Actually, you're going to be excited about this dip because you will be able to potentially average back in what you've taken. So I think that it's always very, 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 very wise to take some money out. I mean, I've personally been through a big roller coaster in 2017, where I made a lot and I lost a lot. And in order to sort of avoid this from happening again, I think that it's quite important to So just skim some off. By no means sell everything at once, but continuously just skim some profits so that whatever amount makes you comfortable to be in, whatever amount makes you comfortable to be de-risked from. But I mean, I'm sure that nobody wants to see their entire profits go back to zero. So the only way to stop that is to just slowly average out. What about you guys?
My strategy changed a lot after 2017, where even during the bull market, where I was counting most of my portfolio in Bitcoin, and after the bear market that we went through, I started to count my portfolio in USDT, which means that most of the time I'm not that exposed to the market, and I only playing the stuff that I'm actually playing. But this allows me to play with absolutely zero stress, whether there is a drop in the market or not. And the profit taking is much more aggressive. I mean, there's always another opportunity that you can make a lot of money from.
I agree.
But right now I value the no stress and like the opportunity to always have some money to buy the dip much more than being fully exposed to the market, because as you said, once it goes down, it's pretty rapid. You never know when it happens, because everybody's trying to ask or predict when the top is going to happen, and in reality we all are going to know that this is the top, just like it was in 2017. The problem is that most people will be greedy enough to be fully exposed until that happens, while I think the valid strategy right now at the point of the market that we are right now would be to scale out maybe weekly, maybe 5% out each week. You can manage to, you can still trade in between. You can still just, be exposed to the market, have money on the exchanges, try to play it, but just not be fully exposed whenever you are not exactly sure what's going to happen next. Because it's relatively easy to make money in crypto. I would say it's very easy even, but it's extremely hard to sustain what you actually earned. And most of those lessons are learned after you actually lose most of your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to be more, yeah.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I just want to very quickly refer to what Crypto Orangutan suggested. I really think that crypto market is too volatile actually to ensure any stability regarding your portfolio. If you are a crypto trader, and you have no other assets like commodities or real estate, or stocks or bonds and so on in cash, then you really expose yourself to very big volatility. It can be very profitable, but it also comes with very big risk of losing that money. So what I personally suggest and kind of like try to do is to build sustainable growth portfolio where you have quite a big exposure to crypto, but crypto is not really your only asset class, if you know what I mean, right? So I keep like picking up, silver. I keep picking up gold. I keep picking up like commodities. I'm definitely going to try to scale into some contracts, some derivatives, futures, options for commodities, because there is this BCOM chart, Bloomberg Commodity Index, which looks probably like this must be the best technical chart I've seen in years. And it's about to reverse to the very long multi-year bull market. And I'm talking that every healthy portfolio for sustainable growth, you need to have many different asset classes so that the crypto does not become your only asset class. Would you agree, guys, with that?
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. I mean, specifically when it comes to my profit.
I'm all in Dogecoin.
All in Dogecoin. I mean, something that I do is that whenever I withdraw money from the market, I basically do it in 2 steps. And I started doing this relatively recently, where I say this is the amount of money that I take out. What I exactly do at that point is that I take the money that I want to get out, and half of that money I send to the bank. Half of that money I actually leave sitting on some wallet on USDT or USDC or whatever stablecoin it may be. So the money that goes to the bank is money that you've completely removed from the cryptocurrency market, and you can use that to invest. I don't know, whether it's real estate or whether it's some stock options or whether it's on minerals, whatever it is. And then you still have that half of that money that it's sitting there in stablecoin. Where you're going to pull the trigger in a month, in a week, or in 10 years, it doesn't really matter. But at least I think that it's healthy to take profits, leave it in stable, and have some ammunition ready to shoot whenever the market will go for a deeper correction. So I think that it's just to cut it short, is that yes, try to remove exposure from the market, but try to always leave some ammunition in, because if you do believe in cryptocurrencies that are going to be here for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years to come, you don't want to leave completely. It's still good to have some sort of exposure, which initially it will be passive with stable coins, and at some point you're going to convert those stable coins into cryptocurrencies the moment that they were to dip or ideally enter within a bear market.
Yeah. I think I've played this market a bit differently. I've played it as an Ethereum maxi, basically. So for the past months, most of my profits have been redirected towards Ethereum, which has been quite profitable since I started doing that when it was below $1,000. But yeah, I'm very close to the point where I'm gonna start to scale out some significant amount of money.
So you are all in.
So I'm all in. That's the question.
Yeah, you're saying that you are all in Ethereum. That's
yeah,
not a question, that's statement.
I'm not completely all in the sense that, of course, I have a portion of my portfolio that is into stablecoins. But yeah, I'm really not overexposed, but I'm heavily exposed to the market right now, especially to Ethereum. But I mean, that was my plan since the beginning, and so now it's basically coming to the targets I had in mind for the end of the cycle. But the thing is, I might have at the time I'm just might have underestimated the momentum for Ethereum, so it might even go higher. Who knows? But I'm gonna start securing some profits.
Underestimate is a bit of an exaggeration. I mean, the asset did go for like 4x since you started this strategy. So
well, I mean, underestimating in the sense that we are already close to 5K. And yeah. I mean, to me, that was an incredible target, 5K for Ethereum, but it could actually go to 10K. Who knows? I mean, the last leg up is probably gonna be the most brutal one. So it might teleport us towards, I don't know, 8K, 9K, 10K. Who knows? The only thing is that you definitely don't want to have to scale out everything at the top. It's literally impossible. That's why you need to do it on the way up, to not have to do it on the way back, on the way down. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm a bit less conservative than you guys, but yeah, that's a different strategy. And also, I think I can afford to do it in the sense that even if everything went to zero tomorrow, it wouldn't impact my life considerably. So yeah. As Birb said, you definitely need to diversify your assets, whether it's with some stocks, commodities, real estate, or things like that. But yeah, I mean, when you can afford to be overexposed, sometimes it can pay off heavily. That's just the point.
Absolutely. I mean, and you're absolutely right. I mean, I did, for example, take not a hit because I didn't, but I did lose potential profits by being so conservative. But my goal specifically for myself for this cycle was to remove enough money from the market that if I were to wake up and everything is at zero, I have enough capital to have a great life for multiple years. So now that I've essentially, that was my initial goal. I mean, I wish that I was a little bit more degenerate like you, because I probably would have been 4x wealthier. But I mean, it is what it is. I have to, apologies for whoever is watching this. I have to close this video now because I don't know if you're watching the videos, but I'm literally in the middle of the road with the car. And I have an appointment and I need to go somewhere else. To cut it short, I'm very, very, very bullish, and we're going to go up until further notice. And thank you, everybody, for listening to my rumble.
All right. Thanks for joining.
Peace out, guys.
Okay, so we lost Teddy, but we are getting Birb back. Oh yeah. All right, he's back. Okay, so yeah, so we were basically talking about the portfolio strategies here.
Yeah. I know, and I also want to kindly again remind to everybody that that I'm very happy that we are having this very session despite the technical difficulties. Of course, we cannot hide that we are having some technical difficulties. I'm actually on my phone, which is slowly dying, but life is full of emergencies. Be yourself, the people you love, with the people who you care, who care about you, and whom you can fully try and rely on. And those are the YellowBlock people. So I'm very happy to be hosting again this session, despite it's full of technical issues. And then for myself being back in and out, and Teddy dropping off, and so on and so forth. But I still really hope that you guys appreciate that we take our time, although just we are kind of like driving in the cars and everything, that we can still share some value with you. And speaking of portfolio management, what many people also forget is that there are two factors in investing, and one is completely forgotten too often. And the first one is, of course, the return, the expected return. Okay, we can set our portfolio to have some expectations regarding the returns, but we should never forget that those returns come with risk. So as a matter of fact, like a basket of goods, basket of assets, like cryptocurrencies, different coins, it's not only about the returns that you gain out of it. It's also about the risk. And I know risk is a very popular word which many people overuse too often, but by definition, risk is a situation which involves exposure to danger. It doesn't mean it's going to realize as a danger, but it's a potential threat. And talking about portfolio management strategies, and especially for the hedge funds, for institutions, there is a primary kind of like a focus on the capital preservation, on the capital protection, because if your capital is not protected against severe losses, right, if it's not insured, then you actually risk a lot, right? So aside from the returns alone, you should always remember to add the risk factor. And as a matter of fact, what matters in practice in the financial world is risk-adjusted return. It's not just return, it's risk-adjusted return. So it means if you adjust the risk to your returns, that's how you can build sustainable portfolio, right? So many different asset classes, not all in, even if it's crypto, well then just dog all in, on your single coins. You need to have some, especially if those are shit coins. If your shit coin just dumps like crazy, then you're tanking down with that. Your portfolio just goes down with that, and you can do nothing about that. Right? I remember back in my past, I invested like quite some initial money that I had years ago, into a shit coin, into a pump and up shit coin. I cannot even remember the name for that shit, but I remember I put quite some significant amount of my portfolio in that, which at that time was small, but still. And it actually literally became illiquid, and nobody wanted to buy that shit from me, And I got stuck with my portfolio that nobody wanted to get it, and that is definitely, that was supposed to bring some high return expectations, but that was not risk adjusted, if you know what I mean. Did you guys have any experience like that before?
Yeah, I've died with a lot of shitcoins back in the day. Times where you are responsible for like 50% volume of that coin. It's when you buy that kind of stuff, it's either moon or doom. You either go with it and you get 100x, or you just simply die. And risk management in this situation is basically just not putting too much money into it, because this is how a lot of people make wealth in this market. But this is also not the proper way, I would say, that you should be introduced to the market. I mean, this is like a small branch that you can play with. This is like why crypto is great as well. But right now, with, for example, what's happening on Binance chain, where like 90% of the stuff is getting rug pulled daily almost, you really need to know that what you're putting there is basically your loss and if you manage to get out anything outside of it, it's a surprise, I would say. The market right now is a bit tougher because when you were on the centralized exchanges, you were playing scams. You had at least some sort of security, like they had to be listed there. They had to have some sort of liquidity, anything. Right now, you can get listed. You can hire 1 or 2 influencers. You can get a lot of hype around your coin, and you can get all this done in rug pulled within like 6 hours. And I think a lot of people that go into crypto and are fancy of the idea that you can get rich very, very quickly don't see that, and the amount of money that they put into those scams is what gets them wrecked and basically takes the chance away for them to actually build a good wealth in the crypto from regular ways of buying regular alts and just holding them like the rest of the market does.
Yeah, I agree. This is the kind of projects if we can really call that projects, but this is the kind of things you need to treat very carefully and always remember that the market gives, but it also takes back. So yeah, I mean, I've done it. I keep doing it. I'm not really talking much about it because I mean, well, basically, what this kind of shit coins don't really deserve more attention than they already get. So yeah, so far I haven't been called in a rug pull, which is kind of miraculous in a way. But I don't really stay in those positions for very long. I try to just ride the wave for a couple hours, maximum days, then I just get out, and that's it. I don't look back, I just get out, and I just put some, what I would consider for me, what is just basically some dust. So that way, if I just lose it, it's not a big issue for me. But yeah, I agree that a lot of people are getting dragged into shitty projects with way more than they can afford to lose, and that's going to be a huge issue because for the reputation overall of the crypto market, well, we're going to face another backlash in the medias after all this altcoin market turns south. That's for sure.
Okay, listen, everybody. I think we are slowly getting to the point where we were running out of time. So my suggestion is, how about we share, each and every one of us. I wish Teddy actually hadn't dropped, but I understand. It's full of emergencies today for me as well. So I completely understand that, and I also appreciate your patience and understanding, guys. And how about we share our final takeaway with like a one takeaway rule that people should remember before the bull market ends, so that this stream just provides them with kind of like this value they can really take away in order to protect their portfolios, their profits, and not to get fucking completely destroyed and wrecked in the bear market. How about we start with Crypto Orangutan?
All right. Well, maybe first of all, we said that before, but I would try to spread it out a bit. Well, this time is not different, certainly. I mean, all of us have been through this before, and like the signs, the amount of emotions and kind of emotions that we see in the people when they get salty when you talk about the coins bed that is gonna dump and all this stuff, like it's all looking exactly the same. It doesn't matter if you get much bigger money right now in the market. Like, it's still all based on speculation. The stuff that we are trading doesn't have much value. I don't know how much you love your coins. It's still all based on the fact that people buy it because they want to sell it higher. It's the same with NFTs right now, which is a great trend that will continue to prosper, but it's also going to die down a bit. And it's the same with all the altcoins. So if you're right now heavily invested in anything, remember that your coin sooner or later is going to go for a ridiculous bear market as well, and is going to lose most of its value. And at the end of the day, we are here basically to make money and not to support those coins and be community members. So take profits regularly. Nobody ever regretted taking profit, even if it goes 2x after we sold. Doesn't matter one bit. There's always another opportunity, especially right now. And in my opinion, we still have few good weeks, maybe even months of pumps, maybe a blow off top on most of the stuff. We can certainly find another stuff, and you can not get dragged down with the rest of the market when the shit goes down, basically. So
Those are good takeaway points, definitely. Mang, are you ready to share your takeaway point?
Yeah, well, it's not gonna be very different from what Orangutan said, except that I'm going to add something. Even if you are in a bull, whether you're on a bull run or a bear run, it doesn't really matter. But when you enter a trade, or let's say when you just buy spot something, the important thing is to have an exit plan, whether it turns right or wrong. Meaning that except from the gamble things we've just discussed a few minutes ago on BSC, when you plan to buy another coin or just, I don't know, maybe short sell it or whatever, you absolutely need to know when you're gonna start thinking to scale out. So that's part of that's a strategy that you need to think about before actually buying it. You can't just, I think that if you basically rely on just on the momentum and you just flow with the waves, you don't exactly know what you're doing, you're going to end up basically maybe buy holding just because you're never going to sell. And if it's, let's be real, if it's not a major like Bitcoin or Ethereum or maybe something like BNB, you're just going to end up buy holding that shit through a bear market. So the important thing is, let's say you buy something for $1, you're going to plan to sell it at 10. That's a plan. But if it turns wrong at some point, you absolutely need to have a backup plan to either to sell at a loss or to sell lower than you had initially planned to sell. So these are things that you should start applying if you don't really do it. Otherwise, I'm telling you, I'm almost 99% sure that you're going to end up buy holding a big pile of trash through a bear market. And I'm telling you, there are not many recoveries from Bitcoins, to be honest. I shared that story on Twitter like 2 days ago. I just stumbled across a bag of Telcoin that was completely worthless during the bear market. Now it's worth almost 100K, but that's just pure luck. It doesn't happen with all of your bags. For instance, I'd invested into Sophia TX. Maybe some people will remember that, and it's basically pure lost money because I didn't have time to scale out. I hadn't planned my scale out as I should have done it, and well, I just ended up with a big pile of worthless tokens. And when I say worthless, it's literally worthless, like no volume, it's listed nowhere. So yeah, you can't really get anything out of it. And it's gonna be the fate of 90% of altcoins in this market, if not more.
Nice.
So
That's
yeah,
right.
be cautious.
That's very right. That's very right. That's very right. And my final takeaway for everybody is so that you remember about the risk-adjusted returns, right? Adjust your risks. Investments with good expected returns are nothing when you don't count your risk. When you go all in a shitcoin, well, you can say goodbye to your money in the bear market. Okay.
Yeah.
So make sure to take care of your healthy portfolio, diversification of different asset classes. I actually lost money on Sophia TX as well. So remember that just you need to diversify between the different asset classes. Go for the commodities. It's a beautiful bull market starting, and commodities, real estate, hard assets. Those are all the inflationary assets that are going to matter in the couple of next months to years. And that is, guys, what I personally want to leave you with, and what I want to end with today's session for our 14-day free trading congress for the session with YellowBlock. And I really hope that what we discussed, about the DeFi's short past briefly, or the past or the presence and the future of the bear market coming anytime soon in the next couple of months, I think that is going to serve you a decent value and good tips. Make sure to to learn on our mistakes, not on your own, because that's going to cost you money. And guys, again, once again, sorry and apologize for all the technical issues and matters. Life is full of emergencies. Everybody, we are all human. We are all human. Our phones that are dying, our computers are dying. You can never predict 100% future. So I definitely want to say I'm very, very grateful, and I appreciate all your patience and all your understanding, and that you still take away value from this very stream. And with that words, guys, I'm happy to be finishing this session. And thanks for coming to YellowBlock, to the entire YellowBlock team, to CryptoMonk, Crypto Orangutan, and Teddy Klebs. Again, wish you a pleasant day, guys. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thanks for
always.
this.
Take care, guys.